Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing something that I hope can really help you save some money and avoid mistakes that I've made in the past. We're going to talk about designer bags and contemporary bags that I've sold, and more importantly, why I ended up selling them. So all of these I bought brand new, and let's be honest, reselling them later usually means taking a loss. Although in my case it wasn't too bad because I'm mostly already purchased with a big discount. Nevertheless, I hope this video can help you make smarter choices when adding bags to your collection. So let's get into it. And the first bag I want to discuss is my YSL East West tote. So I bought this early on when I was just starting to collect bags, and I thought, a girl needs a classic timeless tote, right? And technically that was exactly what it was. But in real life, I found the YSL East West tote kind of boring. I mean, the quality was good, the shape was practical, but every time I wore it, I just didn't really feel excited. Frankly, it's just a couple of slabs of leather sewn together. It doesn't really have a lot of structure to it. It was basically too simple for me in terms of the taste that I have. Like, I want to have something exciting or special about a bag, even if it is just a tote. So at the end of the day, it just didn't really match my style or my personality, and I ended up letting it go. The lesson I learned here is that just because something is considered classic or timeless, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for you. Then next up is my Demier Lucan bag. So I was really getting into Demier after getting their Vancouver bag, which I love, and I still have that, and the leather on it is beautiful. So I thought, why not try another style? And I love the tan color on this Lucan bag, and design looked really cool in photos. But when I wore it myself, it just didn't feel right. The way it sat on my body, it just felt a bit awkward. And it had these long straps that were dangling down the bag, and it just kind of bothered me. Again, nothing wrong with the bag, it just didn't suit me. And that's just another lesson that a bag can be beautiful, but if it doesn't feel good on you, you don't end up reaching for it, and then it's probably better to just move it along. Then there's the Yusefi dinner roll, and I purchased that in a bubblegum pink. And yeah, I think I wore this bag once, perhaps twice, before letting it go. I was really interested in getting something from Yusefi, and I was kind of doubting between the fortune cookie bag and the dinner roll. The dinner roll seemed a lot more practical because it was more versatile in terms of options, but at the end of the day, I just liked the fortune cookie bag a lot better. Also, the design on the dinner roll was cute, but the color just wasn't really for me. I'm generally not very much a pink girly to begin with, and well, my fortune cookie bag is a red bag, so that is one that I definitely like and reach for. I have plenty of red bags. They always add a fun pop of color to my outfits. Sometimes I do reach for some hot pink items, like my Coach Tabby clutch, so that's all good, but the bubblegum shade on this Yusefi dinner roll, that just felt like a bit too girly, I suppose. It just didn't really feel like me. And this bag definitely told me that being honest about your color preferences is important, even if you like the design of the bag otherwise. Then one bag that was definitely harder to let go of, and that was my Loewe flamingo bag in the light desert color. Early on in my bag collecting era, I felt like I needed to have this Loewe trifecta, so the puzzle bag, the hammock bag, and the flamingo bag. It's not an official trifecta, I suppose, but in my head that was the set of bags that I needed to get. And I always loved the look of the flamingo bag, but the Nepa leather on that bag was just so delicate, and the light color on the bag also really made me nervous. And frankly, I was just always scared to wear it. I ended up selling this bag to a lady who already had the black version, and she clearly wore it a lot. Like, that bag had wear and tear. So, I mean, on the one hand, good for her, because evidently she loved it, and I'm pretty sure that the bag she bought from me she's also loving. But on the other hand, it also helped me realize that that bag needs to be worn and then needs to get wear and tear, and it needs to be enjoyed. And because I was so scared of getting wear on it and using it, I just wasn't the right person for it. So fortunately, because I did end up selling it in pristine condition, only having worn it like a handful of times, I did make a pretty decent profit on this bag. I think I bought it for like half off, which was back in the day still a thing with Loewe. And I think I end up selling it for 2/3 of the original price that it has now, which is a lot higher. Well, in any case, made a good profit selling that bag. So in that sense, not too sad about it, but that bag was so beautiful that I do still miss it sometimes when I see it on Instagram, for example, but I also know deep down in my heart that it wasn't right for me, and I just couldn't really enjoy it at the end of the day. Okay, then I'm going to take two bags together from LM. So I had a LM raisin bag and I had a LM Vosk bag, and yeah, the reason I got these is because I did really like the design of these. I still do like the design of these. They're like really clean, low-key luxury, structured, organic shapes. But the thing with those bags was that the leather was a big downside for me. Like, it was a smooth leather, but it was very highly treated. And somehow that ended up scratching really easily. And with the Vosk bag, yeah, I got scratches on that bag after just a few wears. Well, I know I'm really mindful and cautious with my bags. Like, I don't bang them into things, so I don't really know where those scratches came from. But yeah, that was just really disappointed. So I ended up selling both of those bags at a loss, on the one hand because they're just not really very popular in the resale market, and on the other hand because the Vosk bag was definitely not in pristine condition anymore. The raisin bag was, but it didn't make up for the lack of popularity. So yeah, I let these bags go. I'm not sure I will ever buy something from LM again after the experience I've had with these bags. If I am buying something, it will definitely be in another leather. So perhaps like the mock rock, for example, or a pebbled leather. I haven't tried that from them, but the smooth leather just really left me with a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, so I'm not really excited anymore about getting anything from LM. Okay, then moving on to my C by Chloé mini Hana bag, and I have this bag, or I had this bag both in a black, and then the other color was a bit of a pinkish yellow, so it was a bit of a weird color. In any case, I got the yellow one first, and then I did like the aesthetic of it so much that I also ended up getting the black one. But over time, I realized that I only ever used the black one, and that made me realize that it doesn't really make sense to have multiples in different colors of the same bag in your collection if you don't have a good use case for each of those colors, or if you don't really like each of those colors equally much. So for example, I do have 3 Coach Cassie 19s in my collection, and I do use all of them because they have very different colors. I have one denim one, and then the faded blue, and then the dark lime. And there's a time and a place for all of them. But what I noticed with this Hana bag is that, yeah, the black one was just very easy to reach for. I still reach for it. I've used it this week when we went on a little trip. But the yellow one, it was just more difficult to combine with my wardrobe. And again, because of the light color, I was always kind of scared of color transfer. So I just didn't really end up using it all that much. And at the end of the day, it was better to let it go. Then moving on to my Coach Tabby 26, and it was in a color block. I bought this bag because the Coach Tabby 26, it's such a Coach classic, and I think it was even the first bag that I bought from Coach, so I felt like it couldn't really go wrong. Like, this bag, it made sense to have it. But at the end of the day, the color block for me was a bit much. Again, was not so easy to combine with my wardrobe. And also for this bag, overall, I didn't really like the way that the bag sat on me or that it looked on me. It was a bit awkward to wear crossbody because it's pretty wide. I would have liked to wear it more over the shoulder, but then the shoulder strap on this bag was too short for me to comfortably wear it over the shoulder. So I doubted for a pretty long time whether I should let it go or if I was going to regret that. But I figured Coach Tabby, like, it's not the most expensive bag in the world. If I really end up missing it, I can always just get it again and get it in a color that works better for me. So what I ended up doing is bringing the Coach Tabby back into my collection, but now I have it in the clutch version and I have it in the color Dragon Fruit. And that bag works really well for me because it's a lot smaller. It doesn't look so awkward on me wearing it crossbody, and the Dragon Fruit color is just absolutely amazing. It's such a showstopper. It always adds a fun element, a little pop of color to your outfit if you're wearing it. So I do really enjoy wearing that bag, and in that sense it's a lot more successful. And then finally, as a little bonus, this is not a bag, but I also wanted to talk about my Bottega Veneta card holder. And I bought this one mainly because I was interested in discovering the woven leather from Bottega. And yeah, if you want to make an investment in a brand to learn more about it, then it can be very helpful to just get an SLG and don't make the major investment of a bag. So overall, the card holder was really beautiful, but I didn't enjoy using it. So the leather on this card holder was extremely stiff, so it was really hard to get your cards in and out, and I was just not using it enough to loosen up the leather and just make it easier to handle. Also, this leather on the card holder, which probably makes sense for an SLG, but it was very stiff. It felt very treated, like there was a plastic layer on top of it, and it didn't feel soft or luxurious to the touch like my Jody bag does, for example, which has the lambskin leather. Then finally, the card holder had 6 card slots, while I usually only need 4, so it was more than I needed. In that sense, it doesn't really matter for a card holder because having a somewhat bigger card holder, what does it matter? But it doesn't compute in my head to have empty card slots on a card holder. So it just ended up not being very functional for me. Although the card holder was a nice introduction to Bottega Veneta and the woven leather, I mean, it served its purpose in that sense. The card holder itself was just not very practical for me. So this taught me that curiosity is fine. Investing in an SLG to learn more about a brand can be a good strategy, but I also have to be honest towards myself about how I actually use things. And since then, I haven't bought a 6-slot card holder. I've always gone with a 4-slot card holder or less. Fortunately, I also got a really good deal on this card holder, so this was also one that I ended up managing to sell with a bit of profit. So that is my list. Bags I sold, the reasons why I initially got them, but also then the reasons why I ended up selling them. Sometimes it was the color, sometimes it was the leather, sometimes it was just the way that it looked on me. And well, most of these were not necessarily bad bags. Only when it comes to the leather on the LM bags, I feel like a little bit iffy. But at the end of the day, most of these bags, just being good bags, ended up not being right for me. I hope this helps you think a bit deeper before making a purchase, especially when buying items new. It can save you money, stress, and maybe even regret. What are the bags that you purchased that you ended up selling, and for what reason? Let me know down below in the comments. I love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you enjoy videos about designer bags, fashion, and smart shopping. I'll see you in the next one. And as we say in Dutch, doei!